Well, hello. Let's see what we got going. What's happening, people? What's going on? Appreciate y'all for joining in. What we got in the chat there? Let me see. My good sister, Miss Juju. Peace to you. Miss Valicia. As always, thank you for joining us. We got the Taj. Peace, Taj. Peace. Appreciate you coming through. Ray Brown. Yo, what's happening? Shane Gold, what the deal is, yo? What's up, old boy? Joel, what's happening? Peace, fam. Peace. Well, I want to thank y'all for joining me. We're gonna see if this I wanted to get the Comet live, but unfortunately the clouds are kind of settling over in that area. But I was able to get a few shots before the clouds moved in. So let's check them out. Get the share. Okay. Hope everybody doing good tonight. Appreciate y'all coming through, like I say. All right. Okay. Now let's go into what I got saved here. Some pretty good shots though. Couldn't get that many, and that's simply because of it's so low to the horizon, so I only get a few minutes. And I was only able to get like maybe about 8 single shots at the most. What is that? Like 10-second shots. So each one of these are 10-second shots. It's not enough for me to get, to process it, but still, we got it. So y'all check that out. That's the Comet there. There's pre-processing. Like I said, I hadn't been able to. I can't get enough exposures to actually stack them together because it's, for one, you can't shoot it tonight and then come back tomorrow night because this is a Comet. It's moving very fast. So the background stars won't be the same tomorrow night, So you really have to get the shots that night, as many as you can, before it starts to set. Because it's, like I said, it's in the west, and the sun, as the sun goes down, then you're able to see it, but you don't have a lot of time. And you'll see what I'm talking about. This is the very first picture of, let's see, 9 pictures. This is the first 9 10-second pictures, and this is the last one. So you're looking at a minute and a half, and right down here in this corner, that's where those are trees. So that's really gonna mess the picture up if I try to stack them. You know what I'm saying? If I tried to stack them all together, that's really gonna mess it up. So it'll be impossible to stack them. But like I said, out of these single shots, you can see that tail. And of course, you can see the Comet there, but you can definitely see the tail. And with my PICS sight, I could clean all of that up. If I could get it stacked, I would be able to eliminate all of this light pollution there and give the background more contrast, make it darker and highlight the tail. But like I said, unfortunately, the clouds won't let me be great. They won't let me be great. But I do have a consolation. So let's see what's happening. Where we at? All right. We're gonna try and see if we could get Miss Tiff, the Helix Nebula, or some call the God's Eye. Hey, I'm a little, nah, I don't like it. So this is the one for the pseudo killers catalog that we call Miss Tiff. And it's this, like I said, well, I call it Miss Tiff because she watches over the well-being of the pseudo killers. She keep us all in line, if I must say so. But yeah, she watches over the well-being of the whole group, the organization. And big ups to Miss Tiff for that. But this is one of those objects I would call one of my favorites. It's the colors, and it's a very beautiful planetary nebula. And this is what could possibly happen with our sun as it ages. The outer layers will, it'll puff up, become a red giant, and the core will be left, which will be a white dwarf. So that's what this is. Man, I hope them clouds ain't, because it's not. Yeah, it must be some clouds. See the clouds, man. That's the thing about this, trying to like schedule a show. You just never know. You're at the mercy of the clouds. So I probably got a lot of clouds. Let's see. That sucks. Oh look, yeah, clouds. That's no good. 1 second. Let me see what's cracking. Yeah. Give me 1 minute. All righty then. You got an issue with the mount. That's what it is. So we'll send it home. We'll send it home and start all over. Yeah. So, um, yeah, y'all. Like I say, once again, I appreciate y'all coming through. Who we got in the chat here? Shalem Way, my good brother. Peace, fam. Kick Low in the house. What's up, old boy? Peace to you, Gary. Peace. Appreciate y'all coming through. So, having a few little technical difficulties. Let me go set this up real quick, And I'll be right back. Y'all give me 1 minute. 1 minute. All right. I'm back. Yeah, I had to set my I don't know what's going on with that thing. It's never done that before. But let's see if we can get it back online. Okay. All right. Let's turn everything back on now. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. Just things happen. I say that's weird. It's never done that before. I wonder if that's well no, I ain't gonna say that. Somebody done put a hoodoo on me. Okay, we lined up right. All right. Hit my share. Now let's see if we can go to Miss Tiff. Let's see what's cracking. All right, now the scope is moving. Just let me make sure it's moving in the right direction. All right, y'all. We cooking with hot grease now. Okay, like I was saying, sorry about that, but we are we're slewing to the Helix Nebula for the Space Age Africans Astronomy Club catalog. That'll be known as Miss Tiff. So as you can see, the what you see on the screen now is the telescope. It's lining itself up with, the stars in the night sky. And all of that is controlled, the camera, the mount, everything is controlled with my ASI Air Mini, which is the little brother to this. This is the same thing. It what it does is it controls everything. The mount, it has, you know, digital cards where you plug in your cards and everything. And this controls everything. So okay, we finally got a picture. And you can barely see it right there. But this is just a 5-second exposure. That's to make sure we lined up. We'll get a better exposure. Now what I'm doing is we're going to start our guiding. And the guiding is essential for when you're taking long exposure pictures. So like these little small circles are lined up with stars. And what's happening is the computer is relaying to the mount through the this is the computer. Like I said, I have another one that's, actually being used, but it tells the mount which way to move and when to keep those circles, keep the stars in the circles. And that's how you can take 3 minute, 5 minute, however long you want to take your exposures. So what I normally would do is select auto run, get my this is where I make my settings for my pictures. Since we have a pretty big moon out tonight, I think the moon is like maybe 80, 85%. I'm not gonna do 5 minute exposures. I think I'll do 2 minutes. No, I'll do 2 minute exposures just to help with, keeping down a lot of the sunlight. I mean the moonlight. So let's lock that in. Get me about 240 exposures that I'll be able to, process that. And let's go with it. Okay, so what we're doing now is it's taking a picture. And this is the countdown over here. So it's counting down by seconds. And we're actually gonna get about, maybe about 160 to 180. And I'll be able to process those. It should be clear in this part of the sky for the rest of the night. So as it moves from east to west in the night sky, I should be able to get probably about 100, anywhere from 160 to 180 single exposures. But while that's going on, let's see what we got in this folder. What have I really hadn't been able to do too much. Like I said, let's see what this. Oh, this is the Horsehead Nebula. See, I wasn't able to get that many pictures, but it turned out pretty good. Ain't that many, but like I said, it's good. There's the Horsehead right there. That would be the Flame Nebula. This is one of the stars in Orion's belt. I think it's called Alnitak, I believe. But yeah, that's got a nice hydrogen cloud there. That's pretty dope. Once getting it processed and all that, but couldn't get that many of them. Like I say, the clouds, it's pretty. You have pretty nights, but the clouds just won't. They won't participate. They're being very, very disrespectful. So let's see what we got here. Okay, that would be the Pleiades. So yeah, just like I say, couldn't get that many of them. See, I would be able to, when I do my calibration frames, I could knock all of that red out. That's background noise. That's not like nebulosity or anything, but we got some nebulosity around the stars though. So that'll come out pretty good. So I can keep these and add to them for later processing. But okay, we got Let's see what's happening with this first pick. We got one to come through. Yeah. So that's pretty nice. Y'all see that right there? It's a planetary nebula. That's Miss Tiff. What we got in there? Shout out. Peace, peace. Okay, we got some more people come in. Scarab Chronicles. Peace to you. Appreciate you coming through. All in. No, let me get out of here. But there we go. That's Miss Tiff there, y'all. Let me come over here and answer some questions real quick. Let me stop sharing. Okay. Okay. No, it has come from behind the sun. You can see it now. Um, well, it's in. I think it's moving through the constellation Ophiuchus, but right after the sun sets, you can see it in the western sky, looking west. Um, well, you can't. I don't think you can see it with the naked eye, especially not tonight because the moon is too bright. But I got clouds, so I couldn't actually. We couldn't actually see it live, but I did get a few shots of it. So I'll pull them up here in a minute for those that didn't get a chance to see them. But yeah, it's moved from behind the sun. It's getting ready to head out wherever it's going because our sun changed the course of it a little bit. So it's getting ready to head out. I think they say around November, sometime in November, you'll need to pretty much see it before then because it's middle part to end of November. We probably won't be able to see it anymore. The tail will most definitely be gone. And peace to you, Ramon. Appreciate you coming through. Peace to you, Ramon Barry. Who else we got? Said, what's happening, my good brother? Peace to you, Zane. Peace, Zane. Appreciate you coming through. Gideon. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. But yeah, we got what we're doing now is, like I said, if anybody wanna come on, let me put this link in the chat. Uh no, that's not it. But yeah, if y'all got any questions or anything, just shoot them at me. Uh, definitely down for answering any questions. So I'm gonna drop the link in the chat if y'all want to jump up. Feel free to. But yeah, we're gonna go back through. No, that's not what I want to do. Okay, yeah. Here we go. Let's see what we got in see what else we got in the folder here we working on. This was a pretty good one here. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I got we got a bunch of now that's hydrogen clouds there, all of that. You got some dust clouds in there. So once I get all that processed, that's gonna turn out to be a pretty good picture there. Gary, I don't know. I I don't know when they're gonna get here, man. But I'll be glad when they do. Cause I want to see him. I want to see what ET talking about. I have to sit down and have a conversation with him. But yeah, this here is gonna turn out to be a pretty good picture here. So, like I said, this is a planetary nebula. This is what's eventually gonna happen to our sun. That's in so many billions of years that the sun is gonna puff up and the outer shells are gonna, you know, blow blow off or whatever, and that's what it's gonna be. A planetary nebula with a white dwarf in the middle. Now we'll come back and I'll process those. I'll shoot it all night. As long as it's visible, I should be able to get plenty of shots. No, Miss Lisa, I don't I can't. The way you can tell that it moves is if you could see. Oh, wait a minute, that's a different question. Are we gonna see something move? Something like what you mean, like with the Comet, Sosa? Peace to you, my good brother. Appreciate you joining in. Let me see. I don't. Well, the way you can tell that it moves is you'll see it in a different part of the sky. So, like, my first attempt at it was around the panhandle of the Big Dipper, and now it's moving west. Well, it's moving south across the sky. To us, it looks like it's moving from north to south because it's right now it's moving through the constellation of Ophiuchus. So you can tell it's moving because it's in different parts of the sky. Now, you just standing there looking at it now, you won't be able to tell it's moving if you just standing there looking at it. But if you look at it, come back and look at it about 3 hours later, you can tell that it would be done moved. But like I said, I don't think you'll be able to see it with the naked eye. At least I can't. And the moon is about 85% brightness. So it's kind of got the sky lit up. Like on this picture, all of this here, this is moonlight. So I have to edit that out. I'd have to take all that background light out. But that's that's the moonlight. If the moon, if it had been around new moon, all of this background would be dark. It would be very dark. But this here, that's the moon. You know what I'm saying? It's it's but you won't be able to actually stand there and look at it and see it moving now. It's too far away, I guess. But like I say, you can tell that it's moving based off the background stars. So yeah, see if we got anything else. Yeah, I love the moon too, Miss Lisa. That moon is very beautiful. See, we got Sage Santa Marina. Appreciate you coming through. Appreciate you. Well, I got the link in the chat, so anybody want to jump up? If not, Then we're gonna call it a night. Come back and do it. Probably can do it again tomorrow. See, look, clouds. See, see how disrespectful the clouds are. Look at these clouds, man. They just, yeah, they got my guiding all jacked up. See, them clouds ain't no joke. See, that's why it's hard to, like say I'm gonna go live and do this here because this happens, you know. And it's a beautiful night. It really is, but this makes it hard to get, you know, long exposures. I mean, I can't do nothing with that. But y'all see them clouds, they're just so disrespectful and they just don't. Sometimes they cooperate, sometimes they don't. It is what it is. It's part of the game. But I ain't gonna hold y'all up too much longer. I ain't got much else going on. Um, Let me close this out. Yeah. But I do appreciate y'all coming through. I really do. Giving me a little bit of your time. What does citrusy force mean? I don't know. I hadn't heard of it. You know what? I'm gonna look that up and see right now. Let's see what's popping with that. Citrusy force. Uh, that's not coming up on my phone. Make sure I spell it right. Citrusy. No, I wonder if you meant centrifugal. Did you mean Zane asked the question. Okay, Zane, did you mean centrifugal force? Is that what you meant? I'm not sure, but what happens is, okay, when you're when you're talking about when you're dealing with general relativity, um, general relativity says that gravity is like, okay, if you take something massive, it makes an indentation in space and time. Space and time is woven, is you can look at it as woven together like a fabric. Yeah. It makes an indentation in the fabric like a trampoline would or something like that. If you have an object coming and it gets close enough to that well, I guess you could say, that's made by that massive object, it can get caught in it and slung around. Or if it's moving at the right speed, and I don't know what that speed is, it could actually get captured. But I guess the comet is moving so fast that when it comes around the sun, it's moving too fast to get captured, but it will alter its course because it hits that well and curves around and comes out. So, with centrifugal force, I don't know if that's what it is, but I do know that's how the general theory of relativity explains gravity and the effects of it. Now, when you're dealing with Newton, it's force and speed, mass. Force equals um, the mass times acceleration. I believe that's what it is. But it's more like an attraction. So it can both can formulas can explain it way better than I can. But like I say, that's really what's going on with it. the sun, it hits the sun's gravity well, and it's going too fast to get captured by the sun, but it's still affected by the sun. So there you go. That's the best way I can explain. Simplest way I can explain it anyway. We got anything else? Got there, Miss Scarab. Yeah, there you go. Okay. Appreciate that. I appreciate that, Miss Scarab. Thank you very much. I don't think it'll be I don't think it'll be retrograde because it's not gonna orbit the sun. It's just the sun is affecting it, but it's not gonna be orbiting the sun. So in any direction, which it could, you know, it could come in, and if the sun was to capture it, it could be coming from an opposite direction and go and be captured in a retrograde orbit. That's highly possible. But this one, it won't happen. It's going too fast. So with that, we're gonna end this session. And like I say, once again, I do appreciate y'all joining me. Um, like I said, I'm sorry about the clouds. It's just nothing you can do about that. I mean, that's just part of the game. You got to deal with it. You know, you get excited thinking you're finna get some stuff going and you be able to do it. And y'all see it firsthand. You know, you see it firsthand. So just always remember, man, you know, always remember when you're scientifically literate, they can't drag you down to their level and beat you up with experience. Peace.